Start right now.
Alright guys, so today we're going to be explaining to you guys part 1 of the Pinecone lore. We made this in a creative map. So first, the brown pine cones and the cockroaches, the only two kinds. And almost as humans used to use horses back then, the brown pine cones used cockroaches as mobility. As you can see on this one. But then one day, the cockroaches had enough. And then they killed Darquavius Jr. III at a very young age. He was only 47. And then word spread to the other brown pine cones. So a war started, the cockroaches versus the brown pine cones. Ignore that. And then over here, the cockroaches started pooping out this stuff, and they were black pine cones. So now they're the brown and black pine cones. The black pine cones seem very innocent, right? Oh, well, now there's a lot more of them. The cockroaches are still slowly dying, though, because of the war. And here you can see the brown pine cones forming a plan. And here, the black pine cones killed basically all the cockroaches. And here's some character models of characters that will be in this in the in some upcoming scenes. But since the almost all the cockroaches are dead, the brown pine cones started testing with them, and they melted mythical weapons and made it into like a drink basically. And same with Slurp, and they use Slurp also. And put it up their butts, so they can poop out different kinds, like the Slurp pine cone and the mythical pine cone. Hey, Larry and Jerry, do not try to break out again. Sorry, ignore that. But here you can see, and then that's the final cockroach. The final cockroach has died, so they need to start cloning these guys, which they do. Here's some more character models. But then right here, everything was going well. The three pine cones started fighting, went to war with the black pine cones, because the black pine cones just randomly started killing brown pine cones. So yeah, the war started. I mean, obviously it's going to be an alliance forever, right? Wrong. As you can see here, the mythical pine cones and Slurp pine cones were fighting for dominance to see who the stronger kind was, and that's a jumper, which you'll see more of later. Well, so as you can see here, in the labs, they were testing to make stuff. Like the mythical pine cones started using cosmic energy to create an extremely powerful being, and the cosmic energy comes from something they believe calls the king of the cosmics, who lives up above in the skies. Not God, obviously. So, and then there's the Slurp pine cones also doing the same thing, working on stuff. And the cosmics were created. And the Slurps made 2, but their first one died because they were trying to kill every single one of the mythical pine cones. And as you can see here, this Slurp cosmic killed a lot of them, but its brother fell down in combat. Here you can see it, since it was so cocky that it killed a bunch of mythical pine cones, it decided to try to fight every single one of the black pine cones. It went straight for their base. But then, it started getting outnumbered because there's so many, but it pushed through and killed all of them. But then, the black pinecone cosmic came in, and there was a very good fight, but then since the black pinecone cosmic had a lot more energy left because the Slurp pinecone cosmic already fought a bunch of mythical pinecones and a bunch of black pinecones, he lost. And then, the black pinecone leader said, stand proud, Slurp. You are strong. And here's here's just some cosmics. And here, meanwhile, you can see the mythical pinecone cosmic. They alliance with the Slurp pinecone cosmics, just so you know. Hey, stop breaking this stuff. But it's fine, because you're just trying to show them. But yeah, just so you know, while the Slurp pinecone was doing all that, he realized that what he was doing was wrong, so he just made it up for them by trying to kill all the black pinecones, which he failed in, unfortunately. But as you can see here, the leader of the Black Pinecone slash the Cosmic was able to kill the mythical Cosmic, which means there's only one more good Cosmic, which is the Brown Pinecone Cosmic. And you can see here, this guy got brutally murdered. And now the final fight between the Cosmics. There's the Brown Pinecone Cosmic versus the Black Pinecone Cosmic. But since the Black Pinecone Cosmic has already fought a lot, he was tired. So then they used all their power and they both died. But right here, you can see they turn to molten whenever the Cosmics are dying. They turn to molten, and as you can see here, it's also their weakness. So then a little kid runs in who's a baby Slurp, and then the Slurp Cosmic gives all of his power to that one, the baby, and then the mythical Pinecone just chilling there dying. But yeah, there's also a lot of dead Pinecones in the background. In here, you can see all of them. And then we have the Slurp, the Slurp one saying "Carry on my legacy" to the baby Pinecone, baby Slurp. And then the Brown Pinecone one says "Leave me, I want to die my way." And then the other one, the Black Pinecone Cosmic says I will come back, I always do. And then the mythical Pinecone one says, "Get me out of here, I don't want to die." Because they were able to save all of them. Then the next scene right here, 10 years later, all of them are damaged, but back here. So there's the old mythical Pinecone Cosmic. Now he's referred to as mythical Pinecone though. And then there is Ultimate Gaby, the new commander of the Slurps slash leader. And then there is me, Flopping Eggs, the leader of the Pinecones. And just these are the jumpers, which will be in this later. They're very powerful. And then as usual, they go to war again. The mythicals in the Slurps. And then there's the war. It says it both on these. And you can see both the factions getting ready to fight each other. And then they start, here's the Slurp Pinecone biting the curb. And then right here it says, come here, I'm just gonna say that, come here boy. And he says, okay. And then this scene is blocked out due to stuff. And same with this scene. And then he says, what the beta? And then he says, ain't even mine. I says, I guess they had children. And just, I did not make this scene. Or think of it. And then it's time. And I think he learned how to fly. But they're back together and they're teaming, I guess. And then, for some reason, they start fighting again. And then he said, nah, I'd win the war. And then, I think they just teamed up again. And he said, I can clone now. And he starts cloning all the, stuff with cockroaches, and he started cloning a bunch of himself. And then he tells Ultimate about it, and then they both start cloning.
It's so traumatizing.
Yeah, it is. And then here's a jumper. But before we show you that, I forgot to mention, there are these people, these are the Jeffs. I forgot to mention this scene. These are the Jeffs. Now, the cam, I want you to come over here. So, the Jumpers and Jeffs are the two strongest people. So, like the two strongest tribes. So, they decide to go to war to see who's the strongest. As you can see here, there's lots of fights. This is the weakest one, though, because he was the first one. He's getting beat up. And, it's basically a 3-on-2. So then, there's a big fight, and the Jeffs are winning currently. And just so you know, the #1 attack of the Jumpers is making people bite the curb because they're called Jumpers because they jump people. And then line all them up on the curb. And then after that, they make the Slurp Jeff bite the curb. But then the other two get away. And then they're about to die until he comes back, the Slurp Jeff comes back and kills all of them. And since that happened, as you can see here, There's mythical Pinecone, ultimate Gabian flopping eggs, and they're just chilling, trying to fix the sewers. But then the remains of these crystals, because this guy was actually cosmic, because that big blue ice shard crystal like thing had a bunch of cosmic energy, and when they were chilling down here, a bunch of ice was everywhere whenever he died, and then all the ice fell down onto them. And you might think they're dead. You can see one of their arms sticking out, but then there's a bunch of cosmic energy everywhere. And then this happens. They get all the ice shards away from them, and now they're all cosmics. Anyways, here you can see this is the king of the cosmics. I guess he's real. He looks down and challenges the cosmics because he doesn't want there to be any more cosmics. And then they start fighting. As you can see here, they start fighting, and after not too long, he uses the king of the cosmics uses his hammer and knocks them all back down to the ground, which you can see in this scene. Just so you know, he broke both of his legs. But he's fine, because he's a cosmic. And then here, they need to think of something to stop the king, because the three cosmics can't defeat him, since he owns all three of their powers, basically. So they realize the #1 weakness of a cosmic is molten and magma rock. So that they start making a giant nuke with magma, and after a while later, they come back, and the big fight begins. Go in there so they can see it better. But yeah, so the big fight begins. He starts, and then the cosmic starts taking the powers away from all three of the other cosmics. But then this one uses one of the cosmics, which is ultimate, grabs the nuke, and since his hands are turning to molten because that's their weakness, and once he turns full molten, if he does, he'll die. So then he throws the nuke at him, and there's a huge explosion, which you can see here. And then both their hands, but then you see this, all three of their hands stick out, which means they're still alive, and that's it. But there will be a part 2 in the making, because we have to make another map.
Yeah, it's gonna take like probably like 15 years around, so yeah.
Yeah.
See you at part 2, it's gonna be here soon, and then, yeah. I have to edit this, but I'm probably not gonna edit it right now, because I don't want to. Yay! I'm probably gonna edit this in 10 years. Woo! I hope you enjoyed this.
Yeah.